Hello from Swedish electric car startup Uniti. My name is Lewis. Hello. And Gareth from the World Health Innovation Summit asked us here at Uniti to take over their Facebook live stream and just send a live stream out because some of the things that we're doing here are quite relevant for the field of health and well-being in general. A little bit to start off with about... Oh, actually, before I get started, I should say congratulations, Gareth. On winning your award the other day. I noticed it popped up on Facebook. So yeah, here we are in the in the Uniti headquarters, and I wanted to start off explaining a little bit about what we do. So Uniti is a short-range electric city car. It's an extremely high-tech city car that we're developing here in the south of Sweden. We started as a research project at a big university here called Lund University, and there we looked at how can we, look at the major problems caused by the automotive industry and look at ways to address them, and then really start again with the machine itself. So what we've ended up with is a very high-tech car that we're putting together. It looks a little bit like this. Super cool car, as you can see there. So initially it's just for city or urban use, so it's in the European L7E heavy quadricycle classification, so it's a little easier to get to market quicker, less regulations and so forth, but also in our research it made it clear that there was a bit of a sweet spot with this vehicle category because it just allows for a much lighter, leaner vehicle, which kind of makes a little more sense in city landscapes. One of the key problems, though, that I wanted to discuss that we're addressing here that is relevant for the World Health Innovation Summit is a quite alarming data about what health problems vehicle emissions cause. I really don't think it gets enough publicity. Now, this is probably largely a UK audience, I assume, since Gareth is in Carlisle. And if you have a look, if you go ahead and Google, you'll find that in the United Kingdom, more premature deaths are caused by vehicle emissions than from car accidents, which is a super alarming statistic as we look at all of the different reasons for and against electric vehicles. I think very rarely do we quote the fact that more people die prematurely from the emissions than from car accidents. So the best way to make a safer car is to get rid of the tailpipe, get rid of the combustion engine altogether, which of course is not something that we need a whole lot more for our daily mobility patterns, because electric mobility technology has just advanced far enough that we don't need the combustion engine for our normal urban city transportation anymore. So to combat that, obviously within our vehicle we're not going to have any emissions to start off with. It's an electric car, there is no tailpipe, but also we have a quite innovative, not terribly new technology, but still an innovative application of an air filter system with an activated multi-stage carbon layering and a HEPA filter all in the one system, so that the air inside the car, even if it's not creating any emissions, and any air coming inside the car is fresh, clean air, and we can make sure the air in the car is, always fresh, clean air. So I think in the United Kingdom context, that's particularly great. If you're going through London, sometimes the air quality really smells terrible. But even when you don't smell it, it's having these adverse health effects. And then if you have a look at some Asian markets, such as Beijing, I lived in Beijing some years back, and the air quality there is just really, really bad. It's extremely dangerous to your health. So as that's one of the markets that we'll enter directly after the European market, we think that's going to be a pretty unique selling point for that market, or pretty important for the people in those markets to be able to have a space where they know, at least inside there, I for sure have good, fresh, clean air. So the vehicle itself can actually make you more healthy. Another concept that we're working on, other than the filter, is we have a very alive environment inside the car. There's a lot of LED lights and vibrations and sounds and so forth, and there's a certain kind of LED lights that actually provide positive health impacts on humans, good for your skin and so forth. So we're just different kinds of UV or different kinds of light, red and blue and so forth, that can improve your health. So in the winter, when light's a little low and so forth, you could have a car that's actually making you feel better. Those features aren't confirmed yet. They're something we're still doing research on, but I think it's quite possible to build a car that actually enhances your health. So that's something fun that we're working on here. Other than that, there's a lot of other really cool tech in the car, like an augmented reality heads-up display. If you think of like a Google Glass, where you could see all graphics hovering out in the world, so it's a bit similar to that. And by doing that, we can remove a lot of the need for a big plastic dashboard and all of the other bulky bits of hardware that really are added complexity and are somewhat of a design flaw. If you consider how much more advanced the technology has gotten today, we don't really need some of the old features of the old car design. So that's what we're doing here, trying to reinvent the automobile. If you want to have more information on that, you can check out our website. I just wrote it down on a piece of paper here. unitisweden.com. It's spelled UNITI. How we came up with the brand is maybe a fun thing to talk about. I was doing a whole bunch of different research for a long time on what would a great brand be, and I kind of looked at all of the values that were important to be in it, the feelings and the emotions and the thing that the brand should represent. One of the factors was how we need to take care of our Earth and take care of our environment and so forth, and another one was, the farthest reaching technological ambition of our species, which is space travel, I think. Space travel, this idea of being a multiplanetary species or going out in space, really has is a really exotic idea for people working in the technology sphere. So within that research, I often quoted, I would be Skyping with people and friends and journalists from all around the world, and I was always talking about, the astronauts and how inspiring it is, and the environment and so forth. And one person, a friend in Malmo, actually said, when I talk about space travel or tying in the idea of space travel to our vehicle, which is a very futuristic vehicle, so it kind of fits like that. He said, I'm always talking about it from the human's perspective looking outwards. He said, why don't you look at space travel from the human's perspective looking back? And he sent me a link to a video which was called Overview, and it was about the overview effect. Basically the video was about when astronauts first went out into the cosmos and turned the cameras back on Earth. And in the video, the man is quoted as saying, in that moment you look back at Earth and you're overcome with the sense of oneness and unity of it all, and you have a different appreciation for it. So that's where the word unity initially came from. And you can see in the logo there's the swoosh from the Earth to represent looking back at Earth. And I think that's kind of a nice message, especially in relation to our health and the health of our planet and the efficiency of mobility and the impact of our actions, and of course the impact of the actions of a company like this. So I thought that's a little background story about who we are and why we exist and some of the cool stuff we're working on that's relevant for the World Health Innovation Summit. I'm looking forward to this conference. I think it's going to be great. And from everybody here in Sweden, I just want to say once again, congratulations, Gareth, on winning your award there and on the great work that you're doing with, I see you're promoting awareness for post-traumatic stress disorder and things like that. So I think what you're doing is super positive for the world, and we're really happy to be a part of it and to help out in any way we can. So yeah, that's enough for me. You'll hear a lot more about us over the next couple of months. We have a lot of different videos and content kind of explaining what we're doing and communicating what we're doing. So that's going to go right out across Europe and also other parts of the world. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I guess I'll get back to work. It's now 8:15 or something on a Sunday. We got work to do, so it's kind of hard making the car. So yeah, thanks a lot for your time, and Gareth, keep up the good work, and yeah, thanks a lot from all the team here at Unity. Now I gotta work out how to turn this thing off. How do I turn this off?